You know, I'm thinking of taking down my most popular video, which is this one right here, because I think it feels outdated right now. And if you follow that guide today, that'll probably cost you thousands and more dollars. Guys, RAM costs are now like 3 to 4 times more than what it was a year ago. And that is all because of this guy right here. I'm just kidding, you know. NVIDIA is skipping new gaming GPUs this year, which has not ever happened in about 30 years. So this is the updated local AI build guide divided into 3 tiers again. I checked price yesterday, and one rule that survives all of it: capacity decides what you can run, bandwidth decides how fast can it run, right? Real question is, what the heck should you buy then, right? And before we get to the new builds, I think I owe you 4 corrections from last video, because the comment section in the last video did not really hold back, and honestly, you were right. First of all, I told Mac users to grab GGUF files. Some comments corrected me fast. On Apple Silicon, MLX is obviously the format I should build for the chip, and on small and mid-sized model, it runs up to 20 to 80% faster, not guaranteed though. Mac people, use MLX if available, but you won't have any issue with GGUF format anyway. Second of all, I barely mentioned memory bandwidth in the last video. One commenter said it better than I ever did. Inference is memory bound, so once the model fits, bandwidth is what basically drives your tokens per second. That's correct. The correction is basically the thesis of this entire updated video, and we're getting there in a minute. Third, I told you to buy 64 gigs of system RAM. If your model lives on the GPU, most of that RAM just sits there doing nothing. And in today's market, that a device is roughly what, $500 to $1,000 more mistake, unless you want to go for GPU offloading as well. When you load your model, you can probably get away with 32 gigs. So you can think carefully of this one. And lastly, I said a 32 billion model fits comfortably in 24 gigs of VRAM. I mean, it loads for sure, but the moment you run a long conversation or an agentic workflow, the context memory will eat everything left over, even the headroom. And a few of you proved that with actual math, which I'm very grateful. Comfortable was a wrong word from me. So the comments did not actually patch the details. They were pointing at a role I completely missed. And that's the exact community I'm trying to build with you right now. If you want to learn more about local AI and build with real community where you can share what you learn, get feedback, improve upon, build together, not just another freaking giant course library, it'll just be like a Ready community, but much better, you know? Join our community on School. It's free. I migrated from Discord to School community, and I'm not forcing you or anything. It's up to you to check out. It's your decision. And I don't know if you remember the kitchen analogy from video part 1. Well, we're actually going back to it because that carries the entire whole video. A model is a recipe book, memory capacity as your counter space, where the book either fits on the counter or it does not. And no amount of enthusiasm changes that. What I undersold last time, however, is the cook part. Memory bandwidth is how fast your cook moves between the counter and the stove. And that number, not the size of the counter, is what you feel every single time you hit enter. What that means is capacity decides what you can run. Bandwidth decides how fast it can run. Right? I hope that makes sense. A big counter with a slow cook opens a huge recipe book and then makes you wait forever per dish. And a small counter with a sprinting cook is blazing fast as long as the recipe fits in there. And I learned this one expensive way. This is my M5 MacBook Max, 128 gigs of memory. I paid close to what, 8,000 US dollars for this freaking thing. And with Apple's recent price increases, I think it's pretty ridiculous. The same build today shows over 10,000 on the American store. And if you shop in Canadian dollars like me, it is like what, $13,000 now? And I'm gonna show you the store page so you know I'm not exaggerating. And on paper, it is a dream machine with a giant counter, and it loads models most desktop GPUs cannot even open, but the bandwidth number is around 600 to 700 per second. And a single RTX 1590 pushes what, 1600 to 1700? My $8,000 laptop moves memory at about a third the speed of one desktop graphics card. Am I completely happy about that? Honestly, no. It's still the best laptop shaped machine for local AI, and I use it every day. It's my main driver, but good for a laptop is a real meh, you know, and nobody put it on the box. Now, why does this role suddenly matter so much then? I think there are 2 reasons. First of all, the RAM crisis is real. A 64 gig DDR5 kit that cost around $200 last year now runs like $500 to $800. And the shortage is projected to last into next year at least. NVIDIA setting this year out on gaming cards, that's crazy. The next generation is reportedly 2 years away, and 1590s are trading between $7,000 USD. So waiting for prices to come back down is not exactly a strategy anymore. Buying by the 2 numbers is. Now, there are some good news, obviously. While hardware got worse, models got dramatically better at living on less. And the reason is a design called Mixture of Expert. We can think of it like a recipe book with 1,000 pages where any single dish only ever needs 2 burners. The book is huge, but the cooking is light. That is what these models do. Billions of parameters sitting on a disk and only a small slice waking up for any given tokens. And the numbers are honestly, it's hard to believe. It's very good, but also it's hard to predict what kind of hardware can it run on, right? And Quinn's 35-bit Mixture of Expert model keeps only about 3 billion parameters active, and its official model card shows 73.4% on SWE bench verified, which is the benchmark built from real software engineering work. The Frontier model everyone pays monthly for sit around 80. That gap is real, and I'm not pretending otherwise, but one of these lives in a data center you rent, and the other one runs on hardware you own forever offline. You just pay for the electricity bill. And the next generation is already landing here, where Onslow says the new 27 billion Quen, I think it's 27 or 28, will run in about 17 gigs. And this is why the cheap tier is not a toy anymore. 2 quick honesty notes before the build. First of all, every price in this video was checked the day I filmed, which is August 10th, and in this market, they will just drip. The logic is what lost though. Secondly, I did not bench every machine here myself, where a number comes from someone in the community who ran the exact setup. Tier 1 exists to get a real model running on your desk without lying to yourself about speed, and it lands around $1,000 all in USD. The floor used to be a 16 gigs graphics card, but the market got really rough out here. The 5060 Ti 60 gigs listed about 430 and actually sells for what, 700, 900? Sometimes more, and it is reportedly being wound down. So here's what I think the honest budget play right now. Intel's Arc B580 at about $350, which is literally the cheapest new 12 gigs card in America. And paired with a Mixture of Expert model, it punches way more above its price. And you can add a used mid-range CPU, throw in 32 gigs of RAM, not 64, and basic board and case, and you're there. And what does that actually feel like? You're not getting the Frontier model, obviously. You're getting a private assistant that reads your documents and writes your drafts without sending a single word of your business to any one server. This is where I think most of you should land, somewhere between $2,000 and $3,500. And this is where the rule earns its keep, because the same money now buys 2 completely opposite machines. Path 1 is the sprinting cook. 2 use RTX 3090 if you can get your hands on them. Each one moves 936 gigabytes per second. Each carries 24 gigs of VRAM, and the honest price spread is because it depends on where you shop. On the swap communities where builders actually trade with each other, most of these go for right around $1,000 to $2,000. On eBay, the asking price runs $1,200 to $1,300, and that's the fee tax. And retail sites still list new old stock at $1,900 plus. Do not pay that. This play only makes sense to use, and the closer you buy to an actual builder, the better the price. Stack 2 of item and you have 48 gigs of fast memory. One commenter on the last video, and this is exactly the kind of sauce I keep telling you lives in the comments, runs this exact setup with tensor parallelism and doubled his speed on a 24 billion coding model. 40 tokens per second to 80 at 170,000 tokens of context. The path is fast and proven, but it drinks power, and the counter space is kept at 48 gigs. Path 2 is the giant counter, a Strix Halo mini PC and AMD chip with 128 gigs of unified memory, which is very good. Framework, Minis Forum, GMK Tech, Boss Game, they all sell one, and they run $2,400 to $3,500 depending on the brand and storage. Or a used Mac Studio if you can find one at a same price. The bandwidth is around 256 gigabytes per second, roughly a quarter of a 3090, so it'll be slower per tokens per second, sometimes a lot slower, but it opens 100 gig class recipe books that the GPU path cannot load at any price. So we can think of it with real numbers this time. Capacity decides what you can run, and the Strix box wins that. Bandwidth decides how fast, and the 3090 wins that, and it is not close. Pick by the job. If you want a coding agent giving you fast sensor and tight loops, take the GPU. If you want big models chewing on long documents overnight, where fitting the thing matters more than speed, take the unified memory. And the catch here is the one the spec sheets hide. Straight from my comment section, long contacts eats memory on both paths, so whatever you buy, your real ceiling is lower than the number on the box. Do not trust that. So I bought $5,000 right now, and I'll be straight with you first. I think most of you should not buy this here, and if this video does its job, you will probably and should know exactly why. The Mac Studio with M3 Ultra is the capacity king with 819 gigabytes per second of bandwidth, configurable to half a terabyte of unified memory, and it runs model nothing else on the list can touch. And NVIDIA's DGX Spark looks like the obvious AI box. and this is exactly where you read spec sheets instead of logos. 128 gigs of memory, but 273 gigabytes per second of bandwidth, which is the same class as the Strix Halo box. What the Spark actually buys you is the CUDA ecosystem, not speed. And the RTX Pro 6000 with 96 gigs, the card I would genuinely love to recommend, now listed about $14,000 to $16,000 on NVIDIA's own store, up more than like 50 to 60% since launch. And at that price, that is not a business expense with a payback calculation. It's not a hobby purchase, obviously. Because I know someone will ask, the true final boss, as of now, I think that you can run at home is NVIDIA's DGX Station, a desktop with about 3/4 of a terabyte of unified memory, as freaking beast. MSI and Dell will sell you one if you can afford, prices starting around 85,000 to 100,000 up north. That is, you can run at home, but can you afford it? Just admire it and move on, you know? Buy this here when your workload you already run every day is hitting a wall you can name, you know? Otherwise, tier 2 is the adult decision. So here's the whole video in one test you can run in a store aisle. Before the brand and before the benchmarks, ask two questions. What do I want to run? That is the capacity. So count the gigs your model and its context actually needs. How fast do I need it? That is bandwidth. The gigabytes per second number they rarely advertise. Capacity decides what you can run. Bandwidth decides how fast. Every machine I showed you today is just a different answer to those two questions. And honestly, every disappointing AI purchase I've ever seen, including parts of my own, came from answering only the first one. The market is ugly right now, but you're no longer guessing. And that was the entire point. And now one last thing, I put this whole video on one page. The two questions, the three different tiers, and every price with the date I tracked it, because these numbers are going to drift tomorrow and you should be able to see what changed on your own. It is free, link in the description. And for the next video, I'm going to cover 14 practical use cases of Hermes Agent in business running on local AI models. So if you want to see what these machines are actually for, that one is going to be for you. And quick word for business owners watching, if you want AI in your business before your competitors get there, that's what me and my team exactly do. We'll get into production or tell you straight if it's not worth it. Book a call on my website. Let's talk about it. And if you just want more of me breaking stuff down, why don't you comment down below, because that's how our channel runs. You ask, I build, and we all learn. See you in the next video.